Hey guys, it is exactly midnight, which means it is the start of Buzzwordathon. So I'm going to be starting with my very first read, which is The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared. And I will update you before I go to bed on how far I got. This lighting is terrible and I have to be really quiet because my housemates are asleep. But I just wanted to update you guys before I go to bed. I am 4 chapters in and I am hooked. At the end of the last chapter, there was just a little bit of a cliffhanger. And I'm so excited to keep reading. I actually didn't realize that this book wasn't originally written in English. It was originally written in Swedish and translated. As I was reading the dialogue, rather than being quotations, they started with a dash, which I know they do in a lot of French books. So my first thought was maybe this is written in French, but no, it's written in Swedish originally, which is really, really cool. I'm really liking the translation so far. I'd be interested in seeing if there are different translations or if there's only one. So I will research that a bit tomorrow, and I'm really, really excited to keep reading. I know it's kind of crazy to start a readathon with your longest book. This one is over 500 pages, but I'm hoping I can power through it and be off to a really, really good start. It is now about 2 p.m. on Monday, so I've gotten some sleep and I've actually gotten a chance to do a lot more reading. But before I jump into my reading update, I just wanted to let you guys know that if you didn't know my TBR for this readathon, I will leave the link to that video down below so you can go and check out my TBR where I talked about the books that I will be reading in this readathon. Okay, so into an update about my reading. I am now about 120-ish pages into The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared. It is so good. If it stays this good, it's definitely going to be a 5-star read. It's a really interesting book because every single character is fully fleshed out and dimensional. Even if they're the smallest character that's only in it for a moment, they get a page just talking about a part of their life or a little detail about them. Even the bus driver that he saw once, we get little details about that. So it's really, really interesting. It's like a book about everyone, which is so cool to me. It's not just about Alan and his life, but it follows literally everyone. And Alan meets a lot of crazy friends along the way, and we get a lot more about their stories, but we also get a lot more about everyone's stories, even if it's someone he encountered once, even if it's the people looking for him because he climbed out the window and disappeared. So people are looking for him, people are trying to find him, and even if those people don't really serve up any purpose in Alan's life particularly, we still see them as part of the story, which is super, super cool to me. So I do have class in about 2 hours, and then after that I have work, but I started Why Poetry by Matthew Zapruder. This is only 226 pages, so I feel like I will be able to read a lot of this tonight, and I'm hoping to get at least halfway done this tonight as well. Friends, please don't mind my robe. I am just about to go to bed, but I wanted to give you guys one final update before day 1 of the Buzzwordathon ends, and that is that I am almost halfway in both of these books. I have about 50 more pages to go to be halfway here, and I think I have about 30 or 40 more pages to go in this one until I'm halfway, and I'm loving both of them. This is probably going to be more of a 3 or 4 star read, and this one is still definitely a 5-star read, so I'm really, really excited, and I'm hoping I will finish at least one of these tomorrow. So I was a really bad vlogger today, and it is almost midnight, and this is the first time I'm vlogging, but I did manage to do a good amount of reading today. I actually completely finished The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared. I was right, this was a 5-star read. I can't remember the last time a book just captivated me and like a book that wasn't a mystery. This book was just so intriguing, and the characters were all just so interesting. I'm actually going to lend this to my dad this weekend because it was so good, and I feel like it's exactly the kind of book he would love as well. So I can't wait to see what he thinks about it, but I know I absolutely adored it, and I just plowed through the last 300 pages or so today. So other than that, I actually didn't get any more reading done. I was finishing another book for my secret project that comes out at the end of the month, so I didn't really get time to read any more of YA poetry, but I'm going to read some more before bed. I am also going to be starting How to Disappear tonight because I think it will be really, really good. I actually laid out the 3 physical books I had, and I asked my friend to choose which one I would read next. The options were obviously How to Disappear, Where the Light Falls, and What Light, and she chose How to Disappear. So that's the one I'll be reading next. I'm really excited because it's like the thrillery one, so like I feel like I'll definitely finish it tomorrow, and I'm hoping to read more of YA poetry. The thing about YA poetry is that it is a nonfiction book. It's just kind of like all about Matthew Zapruder's thoughts on poetry, so it's not super, super, super intriguing, but like it's good. It's just not a book that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna sit down and read this entire book. It's incredible. It's just his thoughts on poetry, and he analyzes a lot of poems, and I find it super fascinating, but not for like one day. So I think I'm just gonna read like a chunk of it every single day, and then we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I'll get at least a couple more chapters done tonight, and I will start obviously How to Disappear, and I will update y'all before I go to bed. Okay, hi, I'm perched at a really weird angle because there's a hedgehog on my bed with me, and I don't want to frighten him or wake him up because he's fast asleep. And I'm being really quiet because my roommates are also fast asleep. But I just wanted to update you. I am now on chapter 7 of How to Disappear. Don't really know how I feel about it. I'm obviously not far enough into it to really give a good judgment because the chapters are so short. I'm actually only on page 28. So my thoughts about it, I don't know, it's interesting. It's definitely a thriller because they're not telling me a lot. I have to kind of infer a lot, but it switches back and forth every chapter between the 2 characters, or what I assume to be the 2 characters. I'm kind of confused right now about the one character because she's going by a fake name, but like that's the only name she's going by, so I don't know if I assume it's the main character, but they're only calling her by a different name, so I'm mighty confused, friends, and it is very late and I need to go to bed, so we'll talk tomorrow. Good morning, friends. Since we didn't have a ton of time to chat yesterday because I was at school all day and then I went to visit my family and I was just a terrible vlogger, I figured that we would start the day off just chatting while I do my makeup. So I didn't get to fully discuss my feelings on any of the books last night because I was trying to be quiet for my roommates and I was also incredibly tired. But the 100-year-old man who climbed out the window and disappeared, wow, incredible. I like it because there was like a really strong friend group in it, which is kind of my thing. And there was no real, like there was conflict obviously because like what's plot without conflict, but there was no real conflict. I wasn't like upset at any point in the book. Sometimes books make me like really anxious and upset because I'm worried like my favorite characters are gonna break up or like my favorite characters are gonna die. And that wasn't, like, this book wasn't something that's, like, designed to make you anxious. It's just, like, a fun book, which I really, really enjoyed. I also love the style in which it was written. It's, like, really funny, but it's just so simple. Like, it's not trying to be funny, but it just is. There are so many random elements. It's, like, exactly my kind of humor. It really is like the perfect book for me. It has everything I love in a book, like random pets, friend groups, like unexpected heist. It was just everything. And I love a good mystery. The heist part of it wasn't really a mystery, but it was like still exciting. And it's really cool because like we got to follow everyone. We got to follow all of the detectives. It's like almost easier for me to do my makeup looking in the camera than it is the mirror because the mirror is lying to me. Oh, now I just got foundation all in my hair. That is such a mood. It is such a Wednesday morning. Only one more day of classes and then I have my weekend. I have my orientation tomorrow to go to France. I'm like really nervous, but also excited. It's just like I don't really know what to expect. I've never been on an airplane before. I've only been out of the country twice, and that was just like little visits in the United States, so it wasn't like I'm going to a whole other continent. I don't even know if I've mentioned this on my channel before. I think I have, but I'm going to France next year. In September, I'll be leaving to do a year abroad with my university. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm frightened. We'll see what happens. I started How to Disappear last night. I keep wanting to call it The Disappearances, but that is a completely other book. But yeah, I started How to Disappear yesterday. I like it. I don't really know what's happening like I was talking about. I don't even know if I like the characters yet. It's almost too early to tell even that. But it's interesting. The chapters are really short, which is something that I really love. So I'm hoping I'll really, really like it. Other than that, there's not really anything more happening in my life, like reading-wise. I've been working on my secret project, so I'm kind of trying to balance that and balance the Buzzwordathon and see what happens there. But we'll see how well I do. I kind of was like, I'm only doing 6 books for the Buzzwordathon. Like, I wanted to do 7 books. And now I'm like, thank God that you only did 6 books, Emily, because, like, I don't even know if you're going to finish these 6 books. Okay, you guys, it's the BH Cosmetics Galaxy palette. This is, like, my favorite eyeshadow palette. It's so beautiful. I love all the colors. I have a performance today, a little Shakespeare performance in class, so I'm trying to go for something a little more colorful and exciting on my eyes, which, you know, is always fun. So we'll see what I come up with, I guess. That's the completed eyeshadow look. I don't really know. I kind of like it. I can hear Newton moving around in his cage. I wonder what that little guy's up to. I would love to know, like, what he thinks. You know, like, what does he think of everything I do? Like like when I'm watching YouTube, is he like, who are these people in my home? What's going on in that little brain? Okay, so I have no idea what's happening with my tripod right now, but I'm too tired to even figure out what I need to do to just set it up. Like, it's not broken, it's just, I don't want to have to put the camera on the tripod and then set the tripod up right now, so we've got this terrific angle. I'm halfway through the How to Disappear. I don't love it. I hate books where there's like 2 perspectives and one of the characters knows something that the other character really should know, but the other character doesn't know. Like, secrets just aren't for me, so this is definitely not the plot for me, but I'm gonna power through and hopefully finish it tomorrow. And I read a bit more of Why Poetry, so fingers crossed that at least one of them, but maybe both will be done by tomorrow, because I'm not doing too well in this readathon. I really thought that I would be able to read more than 6 books, and like, we're at 1 book right now, and we are struggling, friends. So I guess we'll see what tomorrow brings. Good morning, friends. I haven't done my lipstick yet, and I'm not wearing my glasses, so I look a little different than usual, but I just wanted to update you guys quickly before I go to my orientation for my year abroad. I actually started reading When the Black Roses Grow yesterday. I like it. I think it's a really interesting concept. I don't love everything about how it's written. The author puts in a lot of like thys and hath and stuff like that, which, like, yeah, it's right for the period, but I don't like, I like it when historical fiction books are either written fully in period language and like, yeah, or just in modern language, and know that your readers will understand and assume that that's not how they actually spoke. Because like with every once in a while there's like a thigh and a half, and it's just kind of cheesy. but it's got a really good beginning. I think it's got a really strong setup for a good story, so I guess I will keep reading and see what happens. Good morning. I only filmed that one clip yesterday. I had a really crazy busy day with my orientation and then classes, and then I was hanging out with friends. But I did manage to get a bit more reading done, mostly on How to Disappear. I'm about halfway, so I'm hoping to get this entire book finished today, and I'm hoping to get a lot of When the Black Roses Grow finished as well. I read a little bit more. I think my Kindle app says I'm 10% done, so 90% left to go. And then I think I will start into What Light. I think I have it back here. So I'm going to be starting in on What Light today, and this isn't a super long book. It's like 240 pages, so I should definitely be able to get this entire book done today. Fingers crossed. It is like 4 p.m. and I am going to start in on What Light by J. Asher. Okay, so this is going to be my last update for day 5 of the readathon before I go to bed. I didn't finish any books today, but I am close to finishing How to Disappear, which is good. It's starting to get more interesting, so I have one of those little reading lamps and I'm going to read with it tonight, and hopefully I'll finish it. I did start What Light by J. Asher. I am only like maybe 10% in. This is what I've read. This is what I haven't read. So yeah, this is going to be a tomorrow project, I think. And last but not least, I actually am so close. I think I have like 3 chapters left of When the Black Roses Grow. That is the book that I'm reading on my Kindle. So that's definitely going to be finished tonight. So at least I can say I got one book done tonight. And then I only have one book that I haven't officially started. So my biggest project, other than the books that I'm all currently reading, is going to be Where the Light Falls. I really wanted to get to this one this week, so I think that's definitely going to be a weekend priority, as well as all the other books, but they're all pretty quick and easy and I should have them done because 2 of them are young adult. When the Black Roses Grow is almost done, and then Why Poetry is gonna take a little bit longer, but it's fairly short. But yeah, this one is a monster, so I'm gonna have to really do a lot of reading if I want to get it done this readathon. Anyways, I am going to bed and I will try to update in the morning, but I do have to work, so I might not get to chatting with y'all until later in the afternoon. Okay, good night! So like I predicted last night, I didn't have time to film this morning. It is now about 4 p.m. and this is the first time I'm getting the chance to film, but I think my reading has gone really well in the last like 16 hours since we spoke. I did actually finish The Disappearances. I don't have it on hand right now. I put it on my finished shelf. But yeah, I finished The Disappearances. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. And I did finish the book I was reading on Kindle, When the Black Roses Grow, and I gave that one 3 out of 5 stars as well. I liked the plot a lot. The only thing that really did it for me was the grammar. She was using words like hath and thy, but they were used incorrectly, which was... ugh. And there were just some other grammar mistakes that I couldn't really look past. Yeah, you know, it's just like, I feel like self-published books are great. I think this one was a self-published book through Kindle, but I wish that self-published books had the same editing process, because then there would be a lot less grammar mistakes, and I think a lot of self-published books would do a lot better. And I understand that can't always be the case because of money and stuff, but yeah, editing-wise, When the Black Roses Grow, plot-wise, it was really good, and I liked all the characters. I thought the plot was very interesting, and yeah. The Disappearances, I did end up loving the plot closer to the end. Not as much as I thought it would be, but the ending, I almost gave it a 4-star just because of the ending was so good. I've never read like the last like 4 or 5 chapters. I was just like, oh my god, I didn't expect anything like that to happen, so it was really good. And I did also get the chance to read more of Why Poetry today, so I am getting closer to finishing that one, and I'm going to hopefully finish What Light today. Okay, so I'm just going to wrap up day 6 right now. It is midnight and I am exhausted. I got a bit more reading done in Why Poetry. I'm just over halfway, so this will definitely get finished tomorrow, which I'm really excited about because that'll make 4 books, which is more than a passing grade, which is good. The other book that I'm in the middle of course, is What Light by J. Asher, and I only actually ended up reading 1 chapter of this today, so I've read 5 chapters altogether. There are 24 chapters, so I have 19 more chapters to go. Hopefully I can get them done tomorrow. I think that if I get the 2 of these finished, then I won't feel too bad about not getting to my last book. So if you didn't remember, my last book is Where the Light Falls. I really wanted to get to this one. So it'll definitely be a priority once this readathon is done, and once I'm done working on my other Secret March video, this book will totally take priority because I've had it for about 2 years now and I've wanted to read it for both of those years. So I'm gonna read it now. Anyways, that is all I have for tonight, so I will see you all in the morning for the last day of the Buzzword Readathon. Okay, I'm going to be brief because I have some people coming over to work on a school presentation, but it is Sunday, it is the last day of the Buzzwordathon, and I am definitely going to be finishing Why Poetry today. I've decided. I've got less than 100 pages to go, so I will finish it. It is 6 p.m. and I finished my presentation with my group, and then I've been reading a little bit and watching a bit of BookTube. So I actually have 70 pages left in Why Poetry, which means I'm definitely going to finish it tonight. And I'm really, really excited about that because that will be 4 out of 6 books read for the readathon. I'm going to try to power through What Light after I finish this one, but I'm not going to be too disappointed in myself if I don't finish What Light because I really am only 5 chapters into that one. I have 19 chapters left and I don't know that I'll make it to 19 chapters by midnight, but I will try, and I will update you guys once I have finished this book and read a little bit more of What Light. Okay, so it is now about... It is 8:55 p.m. and I just finished, drumroll please, What Light by J. Asher. This was not the book I thought I would finish first. I figured I would finish Why Poetry and then read this, but then I started reading like 1 chapter of Why Poetry, 1 chapter of What Light, and What Light got too good and I had to put down Why Poetry. This, I haven't fully decided my rating. I think I'm gonna give this a 4-star. I loved it. It was such a sweet romance, and it was really interesting watching the characters come to terms with themselves and with each other, and there's like a lot of like friendship and family stuff, and it's a little cheesy, but I loved it a lot. So yeah, I think this will be a 4-star read, and I'm glad I got to read it even though it's a book about Christmas and it is late March. And then of course, Why Poetry, I have 2 more chapters left, so I will definitely finish this before bed tonight. And that will make it 5 out of 6 books, which is not a terrible score. I'm not too angry about that. So I just looked it up on my calculator and 5 out of 6 is 83%. So you know what, an 83%, that's an A. I'm an honors reader. We love that. So I will keep reading Why Poetry and I will update you guys when I finished it and what I thought of it. And then I'll do like a full wrap up of this readathon. So I just finished Why Poetry by Matthew Zapruder, and I gave that book 3 out of 5 stars. It was really good, really informative, but definitely not my thing. I like poetry, but I don't love poetry, so it was just like, it was okay. So that is it for the March 2019 Buzzword Readathon. I managed to read 5 books, 4 physical books. We've got Why Poetry by Matthew Zapruder, we've got What Light by J. Asher, we've got How to Disappear by Anne Reddish Stampler, and we have The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared by Jonas Jonasson. And my 5th book that I read was When the Black Roses Grow by Angela Christina Archer, which is on my Kindle. And I gave these books 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 3 out of 5, 5 out of 5, and When the Black Roses Grow got 3 out of 5. I have one new favorite book of all time, which is The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared. This is definitely a book I will recommend to everyone. I would definitely reread this book, and I'm going to pass this off to my dad the next time I see him. So thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more from me, you can hit the subscribe button. Happy reading, folks!